Hello everyone, my name is Tech Weasel. I am a 12-year-old kid and I code Roblox games. While I haven't made anything that you may see on the notorious games page with all its popular games that many people will gladly know if they've played Roblox, I honestly have not really attempted to get any games there, and ever since failing to get any there in the few times I have briefly tried, I've decided that maybe my skills would be put to better use teaching other people the skills I know so that maybe one day you can code your own games. In the last video, we built a game. This game was absolutely very simple. This is the second installment in a series that I'm creating covering the basics. Doing them in order will make it so you can progress in difficulty. Warning, this video will be significantly harder than the previous one, in which we only use the toolbox and other people's creations. In this video, we will actually be scripting our own code. That is right. Warning, there is real coding in this video. Be committed for a larger challenge. Let's get straight to it. The first step is to open your game you made last video by clicking Edit. It should load up easily. Once it's loaded, do what I say next. Computer, previous video, or watching them right after one another, you might still have Roblox Studio open. I don't know what your game looks like, but this is the simple, strange game I created. We have some blocks over here that we were testing and playing around with. This large force field-like shape, which I'm going to change the material of so it's easier to see in this video. I later noticed that it was quite hard to see in the previous one. We have this sword, which, to test physics, we made slide down this hill. You can pick up the sword to fight these monsters, and you start with a bazooka in your inventory. I do not expect your game to look anything like this. It could look like, honestly, pretty much anything, because it's your imagination and we were using the toolbox. So, the next step is to actually build a power-up, the theme of this video. I want you to go up here to Parts and click Block, Sphere, Wedge, or Cylinder until you have the shape you want. Click this arrow and choose from the four. I'm going to use a sphere because it's the coolest looking one that you don't have to do anything to. I'm going to make this one yellow, and I'm going to use neon, which will make it glow. This is going to be our power-up. I want you to go over here to the Explorer. This is where everything in our game is contained in a code form. We're going to right-click on this, or left-click on it, either one, as long as it is highlighted. Then click Properties. You may have Properties as a side thing and Explorer up here, but personally I have two buttons down here. In Properties, click Anchored so that it cannot move, and also turn off Can Collide. This will allow our player to walk right through it. That way it's not an actual block. Next, we're going to right-click on it and click Insert Object. Search up a script or click on it if it's somewhere you can see it, and this is where we are going to code into this part. Once you have that, I'm going to show you what to code. I'm going to want to write function space untouched, and then in parentheses, hit. Make sure you get everything in the correct capitals, and it should be these colors. At the end, click enter, and it will create this end. This is a kind of section in which all the code inside here will happen when this happens, including when our player touches it. Next, we want to create a variable. While changing a variable, you can just write the name, but this is a new variable. So we want to write local, which will create the variable. Then we want to write its name, human. Then write this section of code, hit.parent. This symbol Find first child, humanoid. Make sure you have all these little symbols all over correctly. Hit dot parent. Parent refers to, in the Explorer, this left color attachment is, say, the object we're referring to. Its parent is upper torso because it's inside of upper torso. You following? If so, good, because it's about to get a bit more complicated using more things including parent and child, which is the opposite. Upper torso's child is left collar attachment. Hang on, this will feel a lot simpler once you've done it a couple times. We want to make sure that the thing that is touched the object is not another block or the ground, or we want to make sure it's an actual humanoid. A humanoid is basically an enemy, a player, almost anything that can walk and move. Even if they're not always humanoid, sometimes it can be a four-legged creature. Most of the time, this will be a basic player, but it can refer to enemies and other things that use basic humanoid animations, like maybe your pet dog in Adopt Me. Might be a humanoid. I don't honestly know how Adopt Me was coded, but that's just a popular game, so I'm using it for reference. We want to write if human does not equal nil. That means we're checking if our humanoid is not a humanoid, then don't do this. Okay, basically we're checking if it's a humanoid by saying if it's not a humanoid. Following? I know that was complicated. Okay, next, we're going to suddenly cut myself off there, but I decided this was taking a bit too long, so I just kind of wrote this line. You're going to add these parentheses, then you're going to write a then do this, basically. Again, click enter until you have an end. Okay, following? Okay, just a quick refresh, pause from the coding, check that your code looks like this. You should have local human equals, meaning this is what local human is. If you don't have the equal sign, add that. If you don't have this period, add that. Then, if human does not equal nil, then we're going to do this. Then we're going to do human. That's our humanoid. Dot walk speed. I'm actually going to pause the video to see if I have this right. I haven't done this kind of code in a while. I know it's unprofessional to have to check myself, but it's better for your sake if I make sure that this is correct. Interruption. This is correct. So you want walk speed equals 10 if you want to slow them down, because I believe 16 is the basic. So we're going to give the players a little speed boost. We're going to set it to 20. Go and test your code to see if it works. Probably feeling frustrated at yourself because you messed it up, aren't you? But here's some good news. You didn't. I wanted to purposely show you that did not work. And do you know why that is? It's because we hadn't added the final line. We have this function, but even though it says hit, the function still has no reason to start. Script.parent, here's our script, here's its parent, that's the part we made. When its parent is touched, it's going to connect this function to this requirement, the function untouched. See? I want you to add one more line. Script.parent. Make sure you're not using a period there. Destroy. Once you have something like this, I want you to go and test it. What that's going to do is it's going to destroy the power-up as soon as you touch it, so that you can't use it for infinity. We're also going to add one more thing to the power-up, so that it, instead of just giving you the buff forever, makes it go away after a certain amount of time. Then I'll show you how to make a health boost power-up. But first, notice how I'm walking a bit faster than normal? Quite a bit, in fact. Right? Now you have a power-up that makes you go faster. This power-up's going to last forever for the player, and maybe in another video I'll show you how to add a temporary one. But for now, I want to spend the rest of the video showing you how to make different kinds of power-ups. Click on your power-up, right-click on it, and click Duplicate. Use the Move tool to slide it to the side. Change this power-up to the color green, and duplicate it again. Change this one to the color red. You may not know where I'm going with this, but trust me. Click on the green one and go into its code. The only part we're going to destroy is everything after human dot. So delete walk speed equals 20. Instead, click human dot health equals. Now here's where things get complicated. We're not trying to change their health into something new. We're trying to add. So we actually write human dot health plus 5. No, 50. Because we don't want to change their health into 50, because that could actually remove health. No, we want to add 50. So we add whatever their health already is plus 50. You understanding? We're almost done with this lesson. These are skills that you will need to know. And while they might not always be walk-into power-ups, you can turn these into handheld power-ups, anything, with help from other videos, like the next one I'm going to make on how to make handheld tool power-ups. Do the same thing on this one. Health equals human dot health minus 30 or 25. You decide any number. You can decide how extreme you want this. In fact, just as an example, I'm going to set mine to 100, although I don't suggest you do that. The normal Robloxian has 100 health. In a later video, though, I will show you actually how to change a character's maximum health value. As you may have seen in many games where you level up and get higher health. Yes, I know how to do that, and I'm going to show it to you, but not this video. Next, you want to test play your game. We've still got our 3 scripts up here, but we've also got our 3 power-ups over here that the scripts are applying to. You can X these out. That's just so you can quickly look at them and quickly edit them at any time. I really need to remember that that bazooka is quite buggy. Remember, we didn't create that. If you've watched the last video, that was created by another player. That bazooka has actually been given an award. And it is not a bad bazooka. It just has some problems. As you can see, I now have the speed bonus. I'm walking a bit faster. I'm going to let this one damage me. You'll notice I got my health back. You'll also notice that I walked into the red power-up accidentally. Let me pause and show you that again without these annoying things blocking me and accidentally pushing me into the power-up. See, I'm restarting my test. Speed boost, and here's the red one. Walk into it and you immediately die. You didn't get to see this one last time because an enemy actually walked into it. Did you see how the enemy just picked up the health boost? If they had been low on health, that would have worked for them because they are still a humanoid and they still do get the benefit. Well, thank you everyone for watching this video. Stay tuned, I'll make another one soon. Bye! Next video is on tools.